If you think it's time to get a dash cam for your car, in this video I'm going to review the Car and Driver Road Patrol Touch Duo that I got at my local Costco. This is the view that I wanted to see before I actually bought this, and so I hope it helps you. Let's get to the review. Well, I thought it was time to get a dash cam for my car. I've had some friends that had some incidents where there were some disputes over illegal turns, and so I really wanted to have a record in my car, and I don't think there's any better record than having a video. Now, I do want to preface this review by first saying, although I have experience with cameras, I'm not some person that reviews dash cams on a regular basis. I haven't looked at 20 of these. I'm just giving you my personal opinion and my experience with this product. But when I was buying it at my local Costco, I just felt like there wasn't any information that told me anything about this product. And so I hope that you find this review useful. And if you do, would you please comment below? So anyway, let's get to the product itself. The Car and Driver Road Patrol Touch Duo consists of two cameras. You have your front camera that goes on the windshield using a suction cup. And then on the bottom is a removable rear camera. So you can use this to take video of yourself by keeping it on the main camera, or you can detach it and run it around the headrest so you can look at the back seat. And you also have the flexibility of using a second suction cup to place this rear view camera on your rear window so you can look out the back. Let's take a quick look at the unboxing. We have our box, open it up, ready. And as you can see, there's a manual on top. Here's this unit. Mini SD card comes with the kit. A couple suction cups here. We have an adapter. This is some kind of adhesive tab, so we can mount, I think, for the rear window where you have the defrosting and the heat. Here's a nice addition. These are runners, so you can mount your cables, so you don't have cables all over the car, so maybe get them out of the way. I'll see how that works. Looks like we have a long power cable here. That's a USB to USB-C. Looks like an 1/8" jack cable. And I believe this strap here is for the headrest mount. So if you want to mount it on a headrest so you can see people behind you, or maybe mount it so you can see a baby inside of a car seat. So that's the kit. The installation was very easy. All I needed to do was use the suction cups. The kit came with a generous amount of cable as well as holders so you can run the cable in your car. And it just plugged into the power of my vehicle. They give you various options. It's just a USB-C device. So you have the suction cup, it goes on the front window, and you run the cable to the back, and you have your rear window. What's great about this product is you start your car, it immediately begins to record. There's something comforting about seeing that blinking red light going on your camera so that you know that it's always recording. I think the picture quality was quite good. You can read license plates. Of course, this will depend on the lighting situation, how far you are from a vehicle, as well as the speed of your vehicle relative to the other car. One thing nice about this camera is I used it on an 80-degree day, which was quite warm, and it didn't overheat, and it has a very strong night mode. The camera features loop recording. So in other words, it's always recording in a certain interval that you set, and then it erases the older video. So in use, you really don't see it. You just turn on your car, it begins to record, you see that red light blinking, and then it's automatically saving the files. The camera does all the work for you. It saves the files, both rear and front camera, in separate folders on the camera, and then you can take out the memory card and then place it in your PC or connect it to a phone, and it's pretty much like having a hard drive. So you have your files marked with F for a front camera, you have the other ones marked with R for rear cameras, and there's a feature called lock. So let's say you're on the road, something happens, you want to make sure that this file is protected and will not be erased. So what you do is you push the L for locked, and it will save a special file in a special folder that you can access later. I like the fact that this camera doesn't require any subscriptions or extra fees. You pretty much just use it and you work with your own PC or phone, and the camera pretty much does the rest. This camera features a parking mode. So in theory, what it's supposed to do is if your car is hit, that it will activate and you'll have a record at least after the impact of the other vehicle. Now, in order to use this feature, you have to power the camera, so you might have to bring in a special kit or battery in order to keep the camera live, or you'd have to set up something in your vehicle, because as it comes from the factory, the camera is set to only turn on when you turn on your ignition. Something I think that would be really nice for this camera would be is if it had some kind of app for your phone, and that way you can activate and set things on your phone as opposed to having to reach up. Now, it's not that hard to take off the suction mount and then work with the camera, but with that small 3-inch screen, and it's a decent sized screen, but 3 inches isn't very much room for you to actually manipulate the various commands. So it would be nice to have this app, but I found the product easy to work with. In conclusion, I thought this camera was really great. I'm really pleased to have it in my car. There's just that assurance that I see that red light blinking and I know that it's always recording. I thought the files were easy to access on my computer. I was able to use them, and you can see from the pictures here that I think the image quality is very good during the day as well as the night. So anyway, that's my review of the Car and Driver Road Patrol Dual Touch that I got from my local Costco. If you have any questions, please place them in the comments. And if you have a situation that makes you think about getting a dash cam, I'd love to hear about it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.